Hello, viewers. I'm SB, and welcome back to Patrick's Parabox, where the episodes are coming out when I can get them out. I apologize. I'm trying. So I thought today might be a good time to re-examine some of these uncompleted challenge levels. I've had a weekend of not thinking about the game at all because I had way too much other stuff on my brain, and hopefully that will be to our benefit. Hopefully we're just going to tear through these like super quickly. I'm just going to figure out exactly what I had wrong all of the whole time. Okay, so this puzzle requires us to get 2 of these boxes through the bottleneck and then back off of the right wall afterward, which is something that we can realistically accomplish only by carrying them down through within the green box, right? We can jam stuff into the yellow box. That's not how you do that, right? Push order matters. But you know, like we could get stuff into the yellow box in a couple of different ways. But in order to push the yellow box to here, we'd have to push it down from above like that. And then once it's in this position, we have no way of entering it ever again, right? Because we'd have to push it down here into this corner to get around it. And then both of its entrances would be against a wall. So it is definitely the case that the green box is going to have to do the carrying. Then the difficulty is just how do we get the objects back out? And you know, it is a question. It is a difficult question. So if we can get the orange box inside of the yellow box, then this can totally work, right? Because we can push the green box to here. We can't make this happen with just the orange box and the yellow box in here themselves, because there's no way to keep them both in a position where they can be pushed back out, right? We could preserve the orange box's pushability this way, but now we're in a situation where we have no way of getting these 2 things back out. We have to push one of them in against the wall in order to be able to get to the space behind them. And actually that means both of them are not retrievable. If I do this in the other order, hold on a second. If we push the yellow box in first and we shove it up here, and then we push the orange box in like this. Oh gosh. I pushed the yellow box or this works, right? I think I just got it. I think I was not thinking about using the yellow box to generate additional. Yep, that is in fact it. Okay, well, hey, productive. I was not thinking about using the yellow box to generate additional space within the green space. Okay, there we go. And that absolutely is an issue of like an assumption that I had made that turned out not to be the case, where I was thinking of ways to use the yellow box to contain the orange box prior to pushing them both into the green, but not the fact that I could combine them to create a different order once we were inside there. So there we go. That's a thing my brain was missing. Okay, this one seems complicated. Let's take it from the top. We can't ever go back into the yellow space once we've left it, right? No, that's not true. We can, as long as the real green space is inside of it. If we push a green pointer space outside, we can re-enter the yellow space by doing that. Okay, so that's something of value, potentially. We have to push something into that upper right spot, and then we also have to push something inside of the green space. And it can be this, right? No, it can't be this. There's no way to enter the spot we have to be in if I do this, because, yeah. However, if the block we use to occupy that space is the green space itself, not a pointer space. That totally does work. Okay. What is this blue corner space for? How do we make use of this is a question. We can get it out of its current position. We can get it unstuck from the top of the room by doing something like this, right? Just push it out the bottom of the green space and it comes out here. Now we've got it to move around. I don't know if that's valuable, but it is a thing we can do. So how do we take all of these pieces, all of these possibilities, and turn them into all of the blocks being filled? We can't use... Is it true that we can't use the blue corner space to free the green space from the top of the yellow space? I think so. Let me think here. Well, okay. If I... This space is a 3x3, right? Yeah, okay. So room is really limited in there. In order to use the blue space to get the green space off of the yellow wall, we would have to load the green space into the bottom of it and then push it out from above. That's the only way that we can push it down. And that's definitely not a thing we can do. Okay, so that's not what this is for. The green space probably cannot be moved off of the top of the yellow block. That's fine. We can use the blue block as the thing that we put here fairly easily by just pushing it into this spot, then going through the corner and then shoving it from the side. So that could be the purpose of that. If that is what we do, hold on, is that enough to solve the puzzle right there? It might actually be. Okay, so we have to push one of these spaces out of the yellow box in order for us to be able to re-enter the yellow box. Oops, we do that. We do this to re-enter this space. And then this is actually a solution, isn't it? Okay, well, I'll tell you what. My plan is working. The sort of like reapproach things very carefully without any of your old assumptions plan. Definitely getting us some value here. All right, then here in Transfer Town, we still have quite a few puzzles to do. I'm really happy to have gotten through those, though. So this is a thing that can be very, very helpful when trying to solve puzzles in video games, but also just in general, in life. Like, figure out a way to strip your old bad assumptions and then come back at the problem new and, critically, slower and more intentionally. You need to make sure that you are having every thought that you are having carefully and correctly. It can be a very difficult thing to do. It's very easy to just go, I know how this works, and rely on prior thought. But it is important not to do that. Okay. How do we do this? All I have to do is get myself over to there. We have no other outlines to fulfill. But how do we make that happen? If we could fit these two blocks together like this, while we were inside, that would do it. But there's no space where that works, right? And this is not a, yeah, this is 3 tiles wide. So there is no space where these two things can be held together by pressure from the outsides. So we have to figure out something else. What is the something else? If we press this combination of things up against a left wall, we can enter the left space. I mean, we can enter the left space without having them connected, I guess. We can just do this, right? But we need to be able to do a transfer from that left space from a larger version of that left space into the meta space, and I just don't know how we're going to accomplish that. There's no way for us to push anything through this corner. Yeah. To be perfectly honest with you, I don't know what the first, like, I don't have any pieces here, I feel like. With that last puzzle we just did, we had a bunch of little bits of information of things we could do, and it was just like, is there a way to fit these objects, these thought objects, these ideas you might call them, is there a way to fit these ideas together such that they form a solution? Here, I don't have a single, not even one thought object. We can do this. Is this helpful? Doesn't feel helpful. Because, like, we could do a version of that where we preserve the mobility of this thing by pushing it up against the wall here. And then we can very easily do something like this. We can push this up against a wall here. And then do this, but this doesn't help us because we're the wrong scale to enter that space. We need to be able to get smaller. Can we... Oops, I didn't mean to do a full reset. I just wanted to pull this back a bit. Can we, now that we've got this... Could we make this left space recursive? Well, would it help? Oh, wait. What if I did this? Oh, this is the answer. So that we can push this out to change its scale back to the correct scale, and then it's against a right wall, so we can... Yep, there it is. I saw it. Okay, I'm very pleased with how well this is working so far. Okay. So for this one, I need to put a space I can climb out of into one outline, and then I need to actually do that to climb out of it. How do we nest things appropriately? Well, it feels to me, I'll tell you, what seems to be the case here is it feels to me like it would be valuable to get the yellow space out of the green space. Because we're not going to be able to... I don't think we're going to be able to use the yellow space, at least not as things are now, to do the thing I just said, to put it into that spot and then climb out of it. Because there's nothing to hold it in place up there. We're gonna need to do some level of, like, what's gonna happen is we're gonna move a space into here, and then we're gonna climb maybe out of the green space into it. So it's gotta be a space that contains the green space. Can we make that happen? We can certainly make spaces contain the green space. Then... I need to enter this space from below to move that. Well, if I move this back to here... No, that doesn't actually let me enter the green space. Shoot. This is fun. It's not useful, but it's fun. So if we do this to push this up against the wall, then we do that. This is the same problem I was just having. I feel like we did enter this green space, didn't we? At some point? Oh. What I could do is... No, never mind. I was going to say what we could do is just prop... We can't prop the... Okay, we can prop the green space against the middle thing like this and then enter it on this scale. That's right. That's how we do that. Then we get the yellow space out of it by just pushing it out somewhere, because if we do this, we're just going to shove this over. And I don't think I want to do that. Let's climb out ourselves on a different side. Okay. So now that we've done that, we have to... Gosh, how do we do this? Do we want to put the blue space inside the yellow space? Because right now there's no way to push... There's no way to push anything valuable into the greener space here. But if we do this... Wait, sorry, that's exactly backwards. I want to push the blue space into the yellow space. Okay. Now, the space is all loop. So, then this works, right? We can do this, push it in to this spot, and then when we climb out the top of the blue space, we'll be in the spot we need to be in. Yeah, there we go. I don't feel like I explained that one very well. I do apologize. And there was definitely a lot of unnecessary movement there. That was not a very clean solution. Okay. Now this one. We have to get ourselves down one scale to where the greenish shape here is a space and not a block. And then we have to enter it. We have to figure out how to do this. The problem here is that it's so easy to create this kind of closure where Okay, how about this? If we I'm gonna move these blocks around just to create an example here. Okay. If we set up a situation like this, where this block is inside of that one, and we get inside of this one as well. No, I was gonna say we can push this block out, and then it will be the right scale, but we have to be already inside of this block when that happens, otherwise we can't. How are we gonna... Damn it. Huh. How do I be in the right... There must exist a shape that is closed on the side in order for us to become the right scale to be able to move into the green space. But simultaneously, it seems impossible for us to be inside of that shape when it is created. That's obviously not the case, and that basically must be the thing that happens, right? But how? How do we do it? The shape has to be open so that we can enter it, and then it has to become closed while we are inside of it. which is going to involve some amount of scale changing, right? But I'm not sure what. Okay, if we do something like this. Hold on, I'm just experimenting a little bit here. What I'm thinking right now is, if we can create a situation by pushing blocks out of here such that we push stuff out of here until we create this situation with this block up against a wall. Or sorry, with this, there we go. With that left block we just pushed out now against a wall, this thing is against a hard surface and pushing left won't push it, and that'll allow us to enter the thing. So is it like we push this here, and then we have to be very careful how we stack things inside of this block. So let me try to construct an order out here. The green block has to be the last thing that gets pushed out because it has to remain adjacent to the space. This has to be the thing that comes out. Well, this or this have to be the things that come out before, because this block needs to be pushed up against a hard wall on its left side. This block... The problem is that if we assemble it like this, if we put leftward pressure on this line in an attempt to enter, it doesn't work, right? We will successfully slide things. But isn't that true of every arrangement of these four objects? Well, I guess we're only arranging these three objects. But yeah, isn't that true of every arrangement of these three objects? Because, like, this also just pushes right in there. And this can't be the object that is against the green block, because the green block also can just be pushed into it. Everything, in fact, can just be pushed into it. Right. Which is why it has to be the rightmost object. Right? Because we can still, this can still work in this space. Yes, I believe it can. Okay. So what we need to do here is you have to go inside of the space, and we have to push you out of the way because I have to be able to push the other things past you and still get around. This is the leftmost object, so this is the next thing to go in. And we can put this like here. That should work. Okay, here we go. So we push you out, then the yellow block, then the green block, and everything's now locked locked horizontally. Yep, there it is. That's the solution. Okay. Hey, we're all caught up, right? I'm pretty happy about that. That did not take anywhere near as long. I thought this was going to be a whole episode with maybe some more thinking time afterward. But all right, the weekend did me good. It didn't feel like it was doing me good while I was having it, but it seems to have done me some good. Sorry, the area is named Open. Just turn to hub. Open. Okay. Oh, I jumped it. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so open. The openness is a problem that must be coped with. It is difficult for us to enter these blocks otherwise. Is this not the same puzzle? Oh, no, it's not, because we have a scaling issue here again, because we can't enter that block in that way. There we go. And then... So if I push the yellow space into the green space, we still can't actually enter this. I need to be a different scale here. Oops, sorry, that's right. That's the incorrect order of doing that. Push the yellow space into the green space, push the blue space into the green space. Now we've created the hard wall that allows this to work. We climb out and then out. There we go. Blue space has to come in with us, is all. Let's solve the final normal puzzle here first, and then we'll look at these challenges. So we climb out of this to get into the green space to push the blue space out of the green space. And we climb out of here into the yellow space to climb out into the blue space to push the yellow space out of the blue space. Because we need all three of these to be blocks or else the puzzle's not solvable. There we go. You just gotta remember that you can go up as well as down. Easy. Okay, let's start taking a look at the tricky ones. So, it looks to me like what has to happen here is we have to press the yellow block into the green space, and then we have to approach it from above. Right, because that'll get us at the correct scale to be able to enter the yellow space despite its off-center. No, it won't. No, it'll mean we're the same scale as the yellow block. I need to be one scale down relative to that. So what we have to do is push the blue. Oops. Have to push the blue space into the yellow space so that when we climb out of the blue space. Yeah. But then we have to move this whole thing over to here to avoid pressing the yellow space right out of the green space. There we go. That one was not so bad. This one, on the other hand. You know, there are other colors. Just 100% verifying. Okay, yes, that space in there is not the green space. It's just a green block. I do not much care for this thing where we're reusing a color. All the objects could be different colors if they're not the same thing. All right, so we have to go in there. We have to push it. We have to push that block into that corner. Yeah, that's the only way we're going to fill that up. And then we also have to get two things up here. So how are we going to do this? If we could... So we need a way to enter the yellow space without losing its ability to be pushed, right? It has to be pushed down against the bottom of something, but in order for us to enter it. But that has to be done in a way that is recoverable, or it needs to be put in one of these two spots before we do it. Because it has to be like... Or I suppose maybe this is the thing. Like, of these three blocks, two of them have to end up in this corner. I'm just trying to figure out how exactly we do that. A thing I am definitely having some trouble with here is, like, what is this even for? It could, I suppose, be a red herring, but so far there haven't been any red herrings, right? It has been the case that every piece that is in a puzzle has been necessary for its completion. I think that's true. We need an uneven bottom surface, or we need to do some recursion trickery such that, because like if we pushed the blue space to here, no, that doesn't do anything. We still need to be able to get inside of this to push the green block inside into the right spot, but then we also have to be able to get out afterward, and this has to end up in one of these spaces. I think that's gonna be true no matter what. I'm like 60% sure. So one thing that the block in the bottom left is potentially useful for is altering scale. If we use it... Okay, hold on. We can create an uneven bottom wall like this, because the blue space has a hard top, right? Which allows us to do that. And then we can push this back out. How does this help me? Like, we still need to be able to get the blue space out of here, though. Or we have to be able to move the green space that we are currently inside of. One of those two things has to happen. And neither of them can from here, it seems like. So if we do this, we can enter this thing again, and this keeps this in a spot where we can push it upward and get out with it. But in order to use any of this to enter the yellow box, or to enter the yellow space, we're going to have to push this down against the bottom, right? And that does not... Yeah, that makes it irretrievable. And if we put the yellow space down here to enter it, that makes it irretrievable. Debating bouncing out of this one and coming back to it. Because, like, there's a lot of places where we can set this thing up, but it doesn't matter unless there's a hard wall below the yellow space. And there's no place that we can do that that keeps the yellow space retrievable. It does, I think, have to be the case that in order to enter the yellow space, either the blue space or the yellow space has to go against the bottom wall of the green space. That's what it seems like right now. And it also seems like that makes the puzzle unfinishable. Yeah, I don't... This allows me to climb out here and push the blue space back out, but that doesn't, yeah, that doesn't actually do anything. That just gets us back to here, which is not a place from which this is solvable, unless Patrick gets a whole heck of a lot stronger. All right, I'm gonna bounce on that one for the moment. Let's have a look at some of these others. Hold on, let me reconsider that in the context of this puzzle. It is often the case that the solution to a puzzle that is in a block like this is based on the solution to the one before it. So in this one, we had to push blue and yellow into green, push green into a valuable position, and then get out of yellow inside green, or get out of blue inside green in order to enter yellow. But that pattern's not applicable here because we have to be able to retrieve both yellow and blue from green, or alternatively, we have to be able to move green. And neither one of those things seems possible after we have completed the yellow space. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll come back to it. Let's have a look at some of the rest of these. So this feels familiar, except that we don't know where our finishing location is. Okay, our finishing location is in the blue spot. Well... So the problem with this, obviously, is that now it's tricky for us to get into the blue space, but it's not that tricky. Once we push the yellow space out, though, it will be. Because then the yellow space will be self-recursive. We will only be able to climb upward and downward into more yellow space. So we have to finish the puzzle like this. Okay, hold on. We have to finish the puzzle from inside the blue space. We created a recursive space that we can never enter, or we will be unable to solve the puzzle from there. And we do this. Okay. That one's not so bad. So this is kind of similar. Hold on, let me... Wait, are there enough levels here? So we need to get the yellow... If I push the yellow space out of this space, I will never be able to re-enter this space, right? I think that's true. So hold on. Let me restart. Let me restart here. Everything's got to go up into yellow, always. We don't want to push anything out into any other colors. So we go up until we're green. Then we do this. And then climb out. Wait, back. Hold on. Okay. Climb out until we're pushing things out into yellow again. But if I push something out of blue into yellow, I can't ever go back into... Yeah, we have to hold on. We have to be very careful about how we do this. So now... This would push the yellow out of both of these, which is bad. The yellow space has to be the last thing to go out. Okay. Sorry. What we need to do is push 2 spaces out to the left, then move this again. I think. But if we move the green pushing out of the green space. So wait, we want the green space to be in a spot where it will then remain, I think. I think we're not, well, once it's up here, once it's in the yellow space, we can move it around though, right? I think. Sorry, I'm having... We're not pushing the green space out. We're pushing things out of the green space. That's different. So now, the next thing that we would push out into the blue space is this space, or into the yellow space is this, which then leaves the blue on the ground. None of the spaces have any walls in them at all, right? Yeah. So, like to do this. Right, we can position a couple of things here, but now I can never re-enter this space. Push you up to there. We do this, and now everything's satisfied, but also everything's external, and we can never get back in here. Yeah, if I push this out into the yellow space, it just ends up on in a different square in here. We can never re-enter it. So the yellow... It has to be the case that the yellow space is inside of this space in order for the puzzle to be solvable then, right? Yeah, I think so. This is complicated. So I push this out into green. And then from there, push it out into yellow. Yeah. And then... Right, so we can push the green space out into the blue space. That's fine. So the yellow space is inside the blue space? We need to be very careful not to de-nest things here, and my brain is getting a little fuzzy already. So if I push this out into the green space, then we've unnested things from the blue space again. And it must remain the case that the yellow space is inside the blue space until the last moment of the puzzle. The blue space has to be an object that is inside of the yellow space as well. Yeah, so this has to be the case. We climb up into blue, push yellow out from here. There we go. Be very careful never to unnest yellow and blue, because otherwise we can never get back into blue. Easy, right? Right? Okay. So this seafoam block here needs to be in one of these locations. Also needs to have a thing inside of it. This seems quite different from the other puzzles in this area, because it feels like it's not about a block having an open side, right? Or a space having an open side. Oh, no. Sorry. This is a block. This is a space. Okay. Now it all makes sense again. So... how do we use this? We need to use this to cheat something off of a wall after it's been pressed against a wall somehow. If we do these into this space, and then to not be on that wall either. Then we do this. Right, we can get that in that spot. And then I have to be able to push the seafoam block out of the brown block to the right somehow. So it needs to not be on the left wall. How do I accomplish that? Okay, I have a thought. Right? And then we push the blue block out. Move this down. We have to get the blue block off of the left wall. Oops. This can happen. There we go. Okay, so get those both into open space inside of the brown space, and then we can do kind of whatever we want with them. There we go. Still, even at this much higher level of complexity, still so much of this is like, don't press a thing against a wall until you can afford to do so. And honestly, even a lot of the more complex puzzles are just the inverse of that, right? Where sometimes you don't have any walls and you need to be careful not to create a situation where a thing can't be pressed against a wall anymore. Block pushing. Okay, so gotta push something in there. We have one more block than we actually need to fulfill stuff, which is interesting. So the core problem here is that it's difficult for us to get stuff through this bottleneck in such a way that we can push it down to the bottom of the puzzle. And a way that we can certainly defeat that to some degree is by pushing it into this thing. Right? Because now we can do... So the question is, how do we maintain its pushability? I mean, we can transport one block at a time, I suppose. There's not a lot of space to work with in here. But if we do that and then we run that block out, now we can ferry this one the same way. See, this doesn't work though, because now I can't get the blue block into the middle. Shoot. They thought of everything. Is there a way to... No, the thing I was doing at first is actually fine, though. I didn't complete the process in my head. We have to turn these into a single block. And then I was like, but oh no, I can't push it down from here. But I can just move the ferry back over, position it correctly, and then go retrieve it. Yeah, that's how you do that. Okay. Not too bad. Sometimes you have, a conceptual boat. This doesn't seem that complicated. Wait. Hold on, my plan was going to be to go out the bottom of the space to affect that, but... Yeah, okay, the problem is that it's hard to move this thing over. There we go. Then I need to push you left a couple of times. Okay. That one was, although it was conceptually pretty weird, it was pretty easy in practice to solve because there's such a small number of things that could be done. Oh, those are all boxes. Okay. Oh, that's a nightmare to look at. Right, because things push to different sides. Oh gosh. Oh, I hate it. Okay, you get out. Pointer spaces. So I can... So that's a pointer space, so we're only going to be able to enter this from the bottom. How do... Okay, let me start again. Okay, so what we have here is a seafoam space containing 8 pointer spaces for itself. So when we push up right now, it does that, but I'm not sure why. It's because I'm pushing this pointer space into that pointer space rather than entering this pointer space. Yeah, 5 goes into 2 rather than me going into 5. Thinking of these in terms of like a phone keypad, not a computer numpad, which is vertically, you know, backwards. So now if I were to press up, I would enter 2, which will put me in position 8. Yes, okay. So when I press left here, I'm pushing into position 4 from the left side. Okay. How many blocks do I need? 6? Okay. So I can scoop out the top block as well by pushing down like this. It's pretty easy to get those out. And then we can do this thing. And then enter from the top again to push another block out. And then we can do this thing, push this down, and enter from the top again to push another block out. But when I push down right now, what's first going to happen is that this is going to go back into the green space. But then I'm going to come in above them both and push them both out. So that's not a big deal. And now we have the requisite number of blocks. Okay. Just had to take it slow, that's all. All right, let's give this one more look. And then we're gonna call it here. We're not gonna enter the next area. But I feel like this has been very productive. Okay, so. I'm gonna be honest with you, I still don't see anything. So if I take this down to here, we can't. Yeah, we still can't. We just cannot. I do not see a way to press this yellow space against a bottom wall anywhere that keeps it retrievable, except for by doing this, which has the problem that it makes the blue space not retrievable. Right, this we can still do. But like, how does it actually help? All we can do with it is just push it up into the corner. And then like, and then what? Right, we could do this and then... No, I mean, that doesn't... Ah, man. There's no way for us to get the green space to move at all. Right? Pushing the blue space downward toward it just pushes the blue space into it. Yeah, and we can't push it at all. We can use it as an uneven right wall, or we can use it as an even left wall. Both of those things can happen. But there's no value in using it as an uneven right wall because, yeah, there's pushing stuff to the right is not valuable in this puzzle, it doesn't feel like. Yeah, this just, I don't know. Like, that doesn't do anything. It's weird, but it doesn't accomplish anything. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to go ahead and call it here for today because this was pretty successful, and I'm going to fiddle with that one on the way to the next episode. So that's gonna be it for us for right now. Thank you all so much for watching. When you come back next time, we're moving into a new space. Hopefully we're solving this challenge puzzle, but we are definitely moving into a new space, and I have no idea how much game is left. Actually, hold on a second. I'm gonna pull us back to this thing. It looks like the space at the bottom of this one's not accessible. Oops, that was the wrong button. Let me click in here so that this window has focus. Oh, right, of course it looks like it's inaccessible. They all look like that. Until you... never mind. Never mind me. That's how fried my brain is. That's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. When you come back, next episode, forward movement into the flip area. And we'll see you then. Gosh, this game.